Da, 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 da. Welcome to an episode 2 of We have survived the first one, and now we're off to episode 2, my friend.
Yes.
Are you feeling? Are you feeling good, sir?
A bit less tense than the last time, maybe a
No,
bit
no,
more
no.
natural, hopefully.
Nah, I'm
But-
feeling good about this one now. Like, after getting rid of the first episode, now it's out there.
Yeah,
We can't go any lower.
we popped our cherry.
Yes. Nice
Yeah.
way to describe that.
So, this episode we're going to be talking about Far Cry. Yes! A Way Out, mostly. Mostly those are the main two games we
Yeah,
played,
so
right?
today we're going to be discussing those two games. David's too excited for Far Cry.
Yes!
We actually got down to playing together A Way Out.
Yep.
And I mean,
convinced you to play a bit Far Cry as well.
yeah, a bit on your
Didn't-
PS4, yeah.
Didn't change your mind at all.
I mean, it's only the beginning, so I couldn't
Uh,
really see much about the game, to be honest.
You went fishing
Yes,
in Far Cry, so...
it changed my life.
Yeah.
I've seen a whole new world with that rod.
A whole new world.
No, but it's
Yeah.
doing very well, apparently. Like,
is.
from what I've been reading online, it's been quite a good iteration to the Far Cry series.
Yes. It's more of the same, but in a good way.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. I love if you like blowing stuff up. It's a lot of fun.
It is the one-man army situation.
Yes. They always manage to create these bad guys that just help along with the story that make you
Do you find the bad guy interesting at the moment,
yeah.
actually?
Sorry.
Do you find that bad guy interesting, actually?
Yes, and this time there are 4 of them.
Okay.
The story, right? There's the main bad guy, right? Jacob Seed. He's like the father. They call him the father. He's this preacher who thinks he's Christ and thinks that whatever he does, all the insane ideas that
I had
pop
the guy
into
with the
his head.
sunglasses going, "Repent, my children."
Yeah, exactly. And then you have these 3 sort of sub bosses, but really they're 4, So the way
But they make up the gang.
yeah, exactly. They make up the gang. You've got if hopefully I'm getting this right, you got Jacob, who's the father, Faith, who's the sister. I believe she's an adoptive sister. She's not actually
Okay.
a blood sister. Jacob and John. Now, Joseph is the father. I mean, he's the head of it all. The Faith uses drugs, and she sort of puts people into a trance, and she makes them believe in their faith through all this. And she basically controls the population.
But it's not like a
using
drug cartel company.
No,
it's more
no,
about
no.
some twisted cult
Yes,
within
yes.
this.
It's all about bringing.
Is it another island?
No, it's based in Montana.
Okay.
in the US, and obviously with Montana you get all this lush green forest with all the wildlife.
No. From the
It's
look at the
amazing.
environment, it looks really nice.
Exactly. You have Jacob, who's in charge of the army, so he enforces the will of God, or the will of the father. Sorry, the will of the father. Yeah. And then there's John, who's the lawyer. He deals with all the legal stuff of
Oh, okay. Well,
of Madonna. What are they called? The place is Hope County. The family's called Seeds. Madonna, I forgot what they're called. They call them Peggies in the game. Peggies, the Peggies are here. The Peggies are
the
coming.
piggies are here.
Anyway, and yeah, with all that, it they managed to keep the same feel like the other Far Cry games, with the villains that you love to hate. One of the things I think it has different from the others, it's the customization of the character. You can actually
you can
choose if you're
actually-
male or female.
I think it's because of the co-op mode and then
Yes, and that's
and
another.
the arcade part.
Yes, the arcade part isn't doing too well. I didn't play much of it. Apparently,
But
it
there've
has,
been quite a lot of articles regarding like people have been recreating maps of other games
Yes.
inside arcade.
Resident Evil, for example. They managed to do
Counter-Strike
the
Dust, the
dimension.
Dust map. They also
Yes.
put it in Far Cry.
Yes. Yes. It's very vast. The arcade part of it lets you build the map and all that.
So it's more fun as a builder rather than actually playing in it,
Yes.
kind of.
Yes. But apparently there'll be some DLCs to add more content to it or put it
Yeah, no, I
into
see.
context of the game.
Then they look quite crazy. Let's call them that.
Uh-huh.
That's like what happened with Far Cry 3 with Blood Dragon.
Yes.
And Blood Dragon is still the best Far Cry in my opinion.
Far Cry 3 was very good. I loved it.
The 3 was a start to an interesting series. When I still remember, kind of, I found the trailer interesting of Far Cry 3 with like, do you know the definition
of insanity?
Exactly.
Now that was very good. I believe that Far Cry 3 was, to me, the best of the Far Cry so far.
Okay. But you haven't finished the 5 to...
No, I haven't finished the 5. Because how they managed to do the game is you can start it any way you want. So you get the open world map.
Okay.
You get the map is basically divided into 3, which is controlled by these 3 sub bosses that I mentioned.
Okay,
so you've got Jacob's area, John's area, and Fate's area.
Okay.
And you go about dealing with whichever boss you like first. Even the introduction to the boss, it's a bit different. For example, you have this meter at the bottom when you've done missions and it starts filling up. And when you get one, I think it's split into 3. So you get the first third part, and then you get the second, and 2/3, and then 3/3. So when you get up to the first third, you just get a telephone, phone call or on the radio, whatever. And it tells you that the boys are out to get you, that their hitmans are out to get you.
Okay.
Sorry, their hitmen are out to get you. You're just walking along, and then suddenly an arrow hits you or a tranquilizer dart hits you.
The hunters.
Yeah.
In fact, I have to show you, actually, now I'm remembering. I found a clip online where he was being, like, there was the trigger saying that the hunters are out to get him.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in a helicopter running away.
That happened to me in a plane.
I
was going to mention it.
It can't be that I'm in here and then some arrow just suddenly hits me while I'm inside the cockpit of this vehicle. And all of a sudden you hear, whoop, and you're dead.
Exactly.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, it happened to me. I had just started playing it, and I got to the first marker because I started with John.
Okay.
I was in a plane. And I saw this convoy. I was doing a mission with a plane. The first mission you do to get one of the buddies. I'll mention the buddy system later.
Right.
But yeah, this is one of the bugs I was going to mention. And I just saw a convoy, bombarded it, and that bit of XP gave me enough to fill in the first marker that I mentioned. And then, obviously, you hear on the radio, they're out to get you, and suddenly I'm in a plane flying, and suddenly it's just everything's gone
red,
bubbly, flowery type thing, because I got hit with a tranquilizer and got dragged by Fate or whatever. And I got the introduction to Fate. So suddenly I'm up in the air on a plane. And then, what the hell, But anyway, yeah, the bugs are a bit, there are a few bugs. I mean, I've seen a few YouTube videos of people like, you get these random trucks that you need to hold up to get some supplies or relieve some people out of. And if you put yourself in the truck and close the truck, the truck just goes Tesla style rocket man. Like
it just goes crazy.
It just goes crazy and it flies up in the air, sort of like Skyrim. Have you ever played Skyrim?
Yes.
Skyrim. Have you ever got hit by a giant in Skyrim?
Yes, and you just fly.
That's it. That's the exact same thing.
Wonderful.
But and sometimes it does get in the way of gameplay. For example, I was doing a mission yesterday where you just you have to run after these guys, but I parked a truck. I didn't park it properly, just get out of it. It hit some rock and it disappeared. And I'm like, crap, what happened there? No, there are some bugs, even when playing co-op. But it doesn't ruin the game experience, in my opinion. Keeping in mind that I'm a big fanboy, so it takes a lot to ruin Far Cry for me.
Oh yeah, but I mean, these are just really small things. They're not really stopping you from the middle of the story.
No, of course.
Exactly. It's not like, oh no, now I can't continue anymore. I actually have to load a session that happened 2 hours ago.
No, exactly.
Exactly. So
And the game constantly saves.
and
So
it's
you
kind
don't
of
lose
like
that
what
much progress.
everyone comments about with Fallout and Skyrim bugs happening. Kind
Of
of,
course.
it's labeled as the Bethesda experience,
Bethesda experience.
not Bethesda.
Oh yeah, Bethesda. Sorry, Bethesda. That's my
Bethesda.
Maltese coming out. Yeah. What is it? The buddy system. They
Yeah,
have
you
a
had
buddy
mentioned that
system.
one.
You got 9 slots. You do missions throughout the maps, and you've got, I believe, 3 of them are animals. So you've got a dog, a bear,
The
and
good
a
boy.
cougar.
The
The
good
cougar.
boy.
Yes, a good boy. Yes, yes. What's his name? I don't know. Not Rusty. Not Buddy.
Boomer.
Boomer.
Yes.
Yeah. Boomer's a good boy. Yeah. He gets you weapons and all that. You get the bear, who's a sort of a tank, and he just rushes in to kill the enemies. Everyone's shooting at him. So he gives you the opportunity to shoot at them while they're shooting at him. And the
One should
cougar
always
is
be
more.
afraid of the bear.
Yeah, exactly. And the cougar is more of a silent killer, a silent assassin sort of play. You know, he crouches down with you and then he follows your commands. It's cool. So those are the animals. Then you've got another 6 who are people, and all of them have individual traits. For example, you have
Like a sniper.
a sniper. Yeah, I'm not mentioning the name, so I don't want to ruin it either.
Yeah.
But you've got a guy in a plane who just gives you air support.
Okay.
Another guy with a big rocket launcher who just blows stuff up. That's as far as I got to now. I think I haven't unlocked the cougar yet, and I have another 2 more people left. And you get a sniper girl as well, and a bow and arrow
Alright.
buddy as well.
So some can join you, and others you can call them when you need them, or
the buddies, the NPCs, you choose yourself. They have a cooldown period.
Okay.
Once
But the
you
plane guy, for example,
the plane guy, yeah,
he's always with
he's
you, or you
always
call
with
him
you.
when
He's
you
flying in the sky on top of your head.
Okay.
Like the dog would be constantly walking with you, or if you're in a car, he'll run behind you. Surprisingly very fast for a dog. Yeah, and the others would just hop into the cars with you, and
then they're just companions that
no,
join you on the
they're
way.
constant. It's not like I want an airstrike on that area and he'll just fly by. He's constantly going around.
So he's just following you in the
Yes.
air, and then he just does what he thinks he has to do.
Yes. If you
don't-
start shooting at someone, he'll
He's
bombard
going to start
them or
doing
shoot them.
something.
Exactly.
Okay.
What else? It's the usual feel to the game, like you're a mute, so your character doesn't talk at all, and everyone refers to you.
opinion about this whole war, please? No. Okay.
You can't call anyone son of a bitch or whatever for punching you or whatever. It has the same transy style. Not transy style. I'm gonna have. They drug you, right? So
Okay.
in all of the Far Cry games,
It's always
in
about
the
drugs.
3, you take these pills which make you hallucinate and all that. And in this one,
It's funny
you
because
get,
Far Cry 3 had a strong emphasis on the drugs also.
and this one also has a very strong emphasis on the drugs. Because obviously whenever they capture you, you're drugged, and you do get these sort of nightmarish.
Stop drugging me. My body can only take so much.
Waking up with a bad hangover some 2 days after, and then you get someone on the radio telling you, "Oh, we
At
haven't
least
seen
drug
you in
me
a while."
some ibuprofen so this migraine can finally stop.
Yeah, so that's basically it. To me, I was very looking forward to this game, and to me it was worth the wait. I mean, yes, a lot of people might say it's more of the same, but when you've got a good recipe, I don't see why you should.
Yeah.
It's more of the same, but it's different. It's different. They managed,
Without the towers, the famous Ubisoft
they
towers.
removed those.
They're gone.
They're not.
forever.
Sorry, there is an element of towers, but it's not as important to the missions as the previous Far Cry's.
But no, I think it helps you to explore the area more rather than...
That's the sole
Because
purpose
before
of
you
it.
climb up the tower and then the whole area is revealed.
Exactly, and then you can go do the missions. Now you can do the missions and then just do the towers if you want to.
Yeah.
At least I haven't. I've only done the first tower in the beginning, which is part of the tutorial, for the game.
Yeah.
I haven't done another tower since.
And I think the last time we've seen towers then is when Horizon Zero Dawn then came out.
Yes.
Because Horizon had a sort of tower, but those were fun because it was like a puzzle. You actually had to figure out how you're going to get there, rather than another radio tower, climb up the ladder, la la
Yeah,
la
exactly.
la.
You climb up those walking dinosaur guys.
Those were awesome.
That was cool. I didn't play the expansion of the game. Did you play?
Not even I actually. I need to get down to it.
And I did quite well.
Yep.
It was one of those games where I just spent 3 days at home. Just went through it
It's
all.
kind of like you have to dedicate yourself, and it's the same with a lot of these open world games where you have to just sit down. 2 hours of my time is now dedicated to this game, for example.
Exactly.
It's not something that you're gonna come back. Like you come back home from work and you're gonna say you're gonna start this. You'd be tired a bit sometimes. They are relaxing because I mean there are relaxing things you can do in Horizon or in these open world games like
of course.
Far Cry. You don't always have to engage yourself into something complicated or sophisticated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is probably... Sometimes I relax with the RPG games that I play, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the times, my comfort zone is with Final Fantasy XIV, the MMO game.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm also messing around with or jumping between Persona 5 and Xenoblade Chronicles. Mainly Xenoblade Chronicles I'm playing because I can just take it around with me. And
on the Switch, right?
Yeah. Like, I just lie down on my bed and start playing this a bit to relax. Even though I had a moment of, okay, it's been a few days since I last played this. How did this combat work? Shit, that's really complex.
This is the game that you said which has those British accents, right? Hello, good sir.
Yeah, and kind of like, I was surprised when the main character, whose name is Rex, just starts talking. Oh, we happen to need to go over that area. Not butler posh kind of accent, but like a fancy rich kid.
All right, not like Jeffrey from Prince of Bel-Air.
No. It's how I had described it to you before the recording started.
Mhm.
It's like this cheesy or cliche story accompanied with a complex combat system, which will make the game fun.
Yes.
But in the beginning, it was boring, the combat system, because the game just does auto attacks for you, and then your main job is making sure that your party remains alive, and you trigger the skills when you need to. For example, I'm going to start this, and sometimes it can initiate a sort of combo because another person is prepared to trigger her special skill, for example. But that is your main management job inside the fight. But then you move around, and the auto attacks happen because you're near an enemy. So you can imagine in the first time or in the beginning part of the game, you're just doing auto attacks because you don't really have anything.
Of course.
It's not exactly the most intriguing way to grip someone into the setting.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, you have to stay giving it a chance. Like, no, how long till I get to the good part and everything is fast, exciting. I know you have to get me to learn the combat also, but still, this is slow.
But it's a massive game, right? Like
No, it's massive. Like
Zelda
scenery is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's one of those where all of a sudden this massive monster that you might eventually decide to fight approaches. I'm like, nope, go around. No, don't kill me, please. I don't feel
Not
like doing
today.
this long walk again. And now I'm interested to see how it goes on further. And at least now, like in 2 weeks' time, I'll be going abroad, so at least I can have the Switch with me on the plane, and I can continue this long ass game with me.
Yeah.
And we've said and at the same time.
And what else? Yes. The game we played together.
Oh yes, A Way Out.
A Way Out. The game which I tried to do a game review, but thanks to the PlayStation, the footage didn't come out right.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, but we had this idea of coming up with tiny, quick overview of what a game is, and we might be potentially discussing it like on the next podcast, because maybe someone wants a quick idea of what that game actually is. But we didn't, and instead we'll just go down to talking about A Way Out.
Yep. And we played it, both of us, together. We did it all together.
Yeah, and you saw two different sides of the
Yes, I played
story.
it twice. Played it once with a good friend of mine.
And you played as one character, and then when we played that game together, you played as the other
as
character.
a different character, exactly.
You want to give a quick summary about what A Way Out is? What's your elevator pitch?
I'm just gonna re-say what I said in the game review. No. Basically, you're Vincent and Leo. Two convicts who meet in prison. They end up finding out a bit about each other. I'm trying not to give much away of the game, so try to avoid spoilers.
Yeah, the story is.
Yeah, it's very story based. I mean, I would compare the story with the likes of Uncharted and Last of Us. It's that story focused. So yeah, basically Leo and Vincent.
First you forgot Leo's name.
No, I forgot Vincent. Yeah, Leo and Vincent meet in the prison. They very quickly find out that they have a common enemy, so they hatch up this quick plan to escape. It's as we mentioned, the game is fully co-op, so you cannot play it alone. But in the game, you do get a free trial. You do get this code.
Basically,
this piece
the
of paper
partner
with a code.
doesn't need the game.
Exactly. And he can join you. So with one
That's
copy,
nice that they actually added that,
yes.
because it would have scared me a bit to see like the other guy also needs to own the game.
Yes. And surprising, I'm not sure why they did this, and I'm not sure if it reflects the amount of gameplay, but it's cheaper than a normal PlayStation game.
It is cheaper, and I mean we saw that a bit in the quality of the game, but I don't think quality
would affect
is affected by price.
Yes, exactly.
Because some things we did notice was really crappy physics.
Yes. I mentioned Uncharted and Last of Us. Graphics wise, and I mean the aesthetics of the game has absolutely nothing to do with those with Uncharted and with Uncharted and Last of Us. I mean, if I had to say something not bad, but if something that disappointed me about the game was the actual graphics and attention to detail. Like there's a scene that I mentioned to you before. We're in hospital and you see no one on the street. You just pull up in a car
and just I pointed that out immediately, and you told me that I had forgotten that you told me about the empty
then
scene.
When we were playing it, you remembered that point that I told you.
I'm like, wow, this is so devoid of life, being in a major urban city.
Yeah. Even
the life was inside the building.
Even the game, the gun, how you shoot, the feeling you get when you're shooting.
Oh, that
and
was so
driving
annoying.
and riding
even
a
damage.
bike.
Like I have a rifle, just there is no sense of damage depending on where you hit them. Maybe a headshot effect, but it was always 2 hits.
Yeah.
And you go to the next guy. 2 hits, next guy. 2 hits. Gun combat wasn't its strong point.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
But then it does make up on the certain points where you need to work together, like the certain high places you need to climb on top of each other. For example, you need to smuggle at very early in the game. You need to smuggle certain tools into the prison. So you would have one guy who goes through the metal detector and then the other guy passes it. There is an element of, you need to
There's an element of collaboration. And
no, of course, it's all collaboration.
I liked the moments where we actually had to discuss, okay, what do we need to do to accomplish this part? Like, hey, be careful because that guy is coming, like the guard. And the puzzles were
I'm sorry,
okay.
This is me just taking a quick sip of water. Because,
don't worry about it. So the puzzles were okay. I like the collaboration and everything, but they were a bit simple, the puzzles.
Yes.
Some did enable us to talk to each other. Some we kind of knew straight away what we had to do, so we didn't talk.
Mm-hmm.
The story was, without saying anything about the details of the story, it was nice to see it evolve.
The story is...
I liked it. It's like watching a film.
Exactly, yeah, and it's
a very long film that you're interacting with.
It's good. It's a very good story. Yeah.
It's not the quality of their previous game, Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons,
All right.
but kind of like the first time I saw it, not I said Shawshank Redemption.
Shawshank. Yeah, because there is
But
the
not-
element of breaking out of prison, eh?
Exactly. Prison Break.
Yeah.
I was actually hoping that there was more story related to being inside the prison.
Uh-huh.
I saw that really fast. I mean, it's good that the story isn't too long. Maybe we finished it in a total of 6 hours.
I think so, roughly 6, maybe a bit less than 6.
Could be a
But
bit
yeah.
less.
And I mean,
We spent 2 evenings.
exactly 2 evenings exactly.
Yeah.
So and it could have been longer. You know, there's a lot of mini games in the levels.
There are things you can
For
enjoy
example,
slowly.
we played baseball and there's
Baseball,
this very
Connect
small,
4.
Yeah,
We did a
Connect
quick
4.
best out of 3 before Connect.
There's that very small part where you're in that trailer park and this woman asks you to find where her husband is and he's fornicating with someone else, and it's a bit
Exactly.
comical, like it's fun.
It would have been nice to see more of the extra stuff. Because, for example, in the prison, you don't see a lot of the extra things.
No, there is, I think you can play basketball in the prison or do some sort of workout, like chin-ups or whatever. I agree with you, and I don't in the same time, because I think if they spent more time in prison, it could have gotten boring.
Stale.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
The name of the game is A Way Out, so I would have expected them to get out of prison quite early in the game.
My initial impersonation of when I heard about the game, I thought there was going to be this long dialogue about being in the prison, like making some character progression, or not progression, getting better character plot about people inside the prison.
Okay.
But it was more surrounding always those two
Them two
guys
characters, yeah.
and the antagonist.
Yes. Uh-huh.
It was always that.
Yeah.
Like you see the story background of both Leo and Vincent evolve as time goes by, which is good.
Exactly.
Because you get to see what their background is, like why this is happening in the first place.
Yes.
But it's just those two. And then you're
And-
introduced to new characters sometimes, but you don't see much. I mean, okay, in the end, then a lot of questions answer themselves.
Yes. No, towards the end, the story is closed.
Yes,
I mean,
there is no sequel.
no.
There
At least
is-
there's no indication
things
for a
happened,
sequel.
and that's it.
It's a full story, round story. Yeah, and that other element that even though that they're working together, both of them have different ways of doing stuff.
Uh-huh.
That
And
was
that's
a nice,
something
that
else, in
was very
fact, that I
refreshing.
wanted to
like that.
discuss, kind of. You can choose to do a particular mission in a different way. Like,
Mhm.
you know, when you have those moments of do it Leo's way or Vincent's way.
Just to give a quick review, Vincent is very calm, calculated, and he'd like to do stuff without a lot of collateral damage. While Leo is
Has
very
a more savage
very quick
way of...
to resort to violence and
He's a good guy, just he
He's
does
just-
things more in a brutish way.
Yes.
For example, go directly to these two people and tie them up, or else do a massive distraction.
exactly, to get them out and whatever. Yeah,
But then, like, what happens after that is always the same.
the
thing.
same, exactly. The choices you make have no really have no. There's no difference.
There's
between
no
the
massive
choices,
impact on
and
what
the outcome.
that choice is going to
Exactly.
do. You're just going to see...
It was nice, since I played it twice. It was nice knowing what happens if you choose something else.
Yeah.
But then it was a bit disappointing knowing that you're still
the
gonna
same
play the
thing in
same
the
game.
end.
It's still gonna.
In fact, the biggest disappointment was that part where you go to a certain location and you see the two characters debating on how they should get there. Like,
Yeah.
no, we should
Yes.
walk. No, we should jump. Kind of.
Exactly.
And then
And
when you
it's
told
just-
me that the part we got into afterwards, like after 5 minutes passed, it was the
Exactly.
same thing.
Exactly.
I'm like, wow, you could have done like maybe a different level or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's true that the final location was going to be the same.
Yes, and the plot would remain the same. I mean, that's fine. But the actual gameplay, it's just a few minutes of difference.
Yeah.
With one choice or the other, and it's roughly the same outcome and the same feeling. I mean, I was gonna say It has an element of replayability, but
Not
it's
that
not really
much.
worth it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not someone who would play a game over and over again and to get
In fact, the
certain
only reason
achievements.
you kind of played it the second time was so that we could play it together.
Exactly.
In fact, you were
Exactly.
kind of, in the beginning with the prison part, you were quite mellow about things, kind
Uh-huh.
of, I know what's happening.
Exactly. And I know what's going to happen, sort of.
There wasn't anything kind of engaging with the
No,
cooperative.
exactly. Because you get these
puzzle.
choices right after you're out of prison. That's the first choice you get. How to escape. Once you're
Exactly.
out, just how to escape. But yeah, it was roughly a good game. I'm not.
It's not the best game, but
disappointed
I
played
like
it.
that it's a game where we got involved together to play.
Exactly.
You can't play it with someone. No, you can't play it on your own. Sorry.
No.
It's either couch co-op
Yeah.
or
online.
online.
And I'm not sure, because to be honest, I didn't even try it. I'm not sure if you can sort of pair up with someone you don't know and play it online.
That way,
I'm
I
not sure. We
wanted
didn't
to
try
ask. In
that,
fact,
yeah.
can you matchmake with someone?
I don't know, to be honest.
And now the annoying thing about A Way Out is, now as time goes by, imagine people would wait for the game to get discounted,
Uh-huh.
and by that time there's actually no one
Yes.
online, like
Yes.
some random stranger who would want to play
To play.
the game also.
Yes.
So kind of you're stuck. You have to force someone to play with you.
Yes, exactly. You have to get someone to play with you.
At least it helps that the other guy who's going to play with you doesn't need to have or own the game.
Yeah, no,
That's the good part.
Because
Because you can actually ask someone like, "Hey, listen, I managed to get this game discounted for $10. Do you want to play with me?"
exactly. Not listen, go buy the game. Sort of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that will help it. Or I don't know if they should actually focus on implementing AI to the other guy, because there's nothing really complex.
Yes, I when I had just started playing it the first time, it reminded me a lot of this game that came out quite some time ago, Army of Two. You remember that game?
And in fact,
I had
it
bought
did
the
cross
mask.
my mind when we were doing a lot of the help me up to climb up the sledge.
Yes,
Because that had a lot of those actions, Army of Two.
yes, but I believe that did have an element of AI. You could have played it on your own.
Yes.
Again, it's a long time ago. I mean,
No, it's not. Maybe not too long, but I remember it. I didn't play it, but I know how it works
I had
from
played
like
it.
watching a couple of YouTube videos.
I had played it on my computer. If I remember that's how long ago it's been.
Okay.
But yeah, it is a bit disappointing. There's no AI and you can't play it on your own. But then again,
And that's our way out of the
that's our way out.
conversation.
That's our way out of
Terrible
way
pun.
news.
No, okay, it's like
Yeah.
I would say way out is like a 6, 7.
You're gonna
out of
rate
10,
it a
something like that.
7,
6, 7, something
6,
like
7
that.
out
I'm
of
not
6.5.
sure. That sounds
Hmm.
reasonable.
I
It's
would
not
give it-
amazing. It's fun with a friend. Then it's
Exactly.
done. Throw it in the bin.
I would just give it a bit more just because of the story. Because the story is immersive. I mean, with all these negative points, you still end up
No, the story is fun.
caring
Yeah. Or it's-
about both characters, you know?
Yeah.
But
And you
yeah.
got to experience both endings, so
And don't forget, there's this amazing hospital scene. That to me,
the hospital
that
level is fun.
was,
And
I'd
I
played
loved
that
the
5 times
camera
already.
direction.
That
There's
was
a
amazing.
particular point where you're kind of, not to say much, you're both running away
Exactly.
from
And
like
it's
the
all-
police.
yeah.
And
I think it's
you're
the only
separated
part,
from each other, but
Uh-huh.
the way the level is transitioning between one character and the other, it's a really good camera direction, like flowing from one scene to the other. It's not cutting you off and then starts the new scene again.
Exactly.
It's just flowing.
It's just one camera, one shot, sort of Pulp Fiction, how it starts. It's all just one shot. So the camera, I think it's the only part in the game where it's actually not split screen. We're playing and
It's not split screen, and I think it changes quite interestingly.
Uh-huh.
In the sense, also, the part of
with
Rio.
the lamp.
What?
You're talking about the part with the lamp where you get side viewed.
Yes, that side
That-
view where it becomes a brawler. That was interesting.
That was good. That was
Like all
good.
of a sudden became a different game.
Mhm.
And it's true that the mechanics were really simple, just tap a button to attack someone. But I liked that sudden switch.
As soon before we played it, I told you this hospital part is gonna be your best part, your favorite
No,
part.
the hospital level is definitely
Part.
something that I will remember.
And
The rest of the game I won't, but because there's nothing that
no
makes me remember the scene. But the hospital one definitely.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was top notch.
So no, I would give it maybe 7.5, huh?
Nah, stick to the 6.5.
Anyway, news. So we thought we'd start talking about certain stuff that caught our eyes during these 2 weeks.
We wanted to do this in the first episode.
Yes, but we didn't have time.
We realized we can actually talk too much about a game, actually. And I think we said quite a good amount for a way out. I think so.
No, yeah.
In fact, if anyone wants to give their opinions about this particular format, just drop comments.
Of course. So comment away and review away, whatever you like.
Exactly. So
just get in
you wanted to
with
mention
us.
stuff.
I wanted to mention Spyro. Spyro. They announced that they're remaking Spyro trilogy, all 3 Spyro games, for PS4.
I think just PS4, or was it PC?
Let me check. I'm not sure. Not sure. I when I tend to look up these things, I look them up for PS4, but it might be. I wouldn't be surprised.
Stop only looking for PS4. You've got a gaming laptop now. You've transcended. You have evolved, brother.
By right, Crash Bandicoot is now. They're now making.
Crash Bandicoot is coming on Steam also. So
and Steam as well.
Steam and Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
I know some friends of mine. They're looking forward to grabbing it on the Switch.
Okay, I heard about the Switch. I'm sure of that. Because I think it would be a cool game to play on the Switch as well. Because it's a button crash.
Again, that factor that I can take Crash with me wherever I go.
No, that is a very, very.
Maybe you want to beat a level even better. It's there with you. Go.
Enjoy.
I'm curious to see how it's going to perform. Actually, what I'm looking for now is if it's going to be remastered on different platforms.
On platform.
So Spyro the Dragon Remastered Trilogy coming to PS4, Xbox One. Please tell me Steam.
Maybe
no
later,
Steam.
If not.
Why?
They might do the same thing that they did.
They might do
for
the
Crash,
same thing, like they do it for the sake of optimization.
Yeah.
It's easy to get it clean and working on consoles, but on PC you have to cater for the fact that no one has the same one device.
Exactly.
I'll probably wait for that.
What?
I'll wait for the
Spyro?
other platforms.
Yeah, of course. I think I'll try. I mean, Spyro, I remember playing Spyro on the first PlayStation, on PlayStation 1. Not sure it was
that's
one
why
of
the
first,
massive hype.
games.
When this thing was announced, my Facebook was flooded with people going, my childhood is coming back.
I'm hoping that there'll be a trend, that they'll start doing this. I mean, they started with Crash. They do tend to remaster games. But I don't believe...
They tend to. Yeah, it's like...
What?
It's massively crazy to remaster a game.
I know.
Tomb Raider also is getting remastered, for example.
Exactly. I like this nostalgia.
The nostalgia trip.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping they might do it again. They might do more like, I don't know. Yeah. What games? Driver. You remember Driver?
Oh my god.
Jesus, I loved that game. That was actually the first game I ever played.
On PS1?
PlayStation. On PS1.
My first PS1 game was a platformer similar to these, like Spyro. It was Croc, Legend of the Gobbles or I think.
Of course, I had
that
the original. I think that was. I remember the original CD for the PS1, the thick CD cover. Croc, of course, yeah.
That, and then afterwards, I remember playing the 2D platformer of Hercules.
And Hercules.
That was good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
let's not get sidetracked because we can do a whole episode of nostalgic games if we want later on.
We're sidetracking. Go. Save me, David. News.
Fortnite. You mentioned Fortnite. Those new skins.
So, 2 things about Fortnite that happened between these 2 weeks. One was the mobile releases that were happening.
Yes, I heard that.
It's out on your mobile now. You can play Fortnite wherever you go. Apparently, Epic made a ton of money with the iOS release.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've been stating that that game made $15 million just on iOS.
Christ.
So yeah, apparently there was a massive market for iOS. Even though it's a third-person shooter, it's harder to play.
And now that you're mentioning it, something related to this, I've seen a lot of adverts. A lot of people are coming up with these conversion kits that you slide your mobile into, and you have a controller, sort of like this.
The adapter is kind of, or a way to play the game on a controller.
Exactly. You just slide your.
For example, I have a SteelSeries controller for my Android phone.
All right.
I wanted it so that I could play games like that.
Okay.
I was hoping to get my PS4 controller to work, but Samsung blocked it. Thank you, Samsung.
Yeah.
But that, and there was
the
also the most important one, is the release of the Raven skin of Fortnite. I was dumbfounded by the reactions online about this skin. It looks cool. It looks really cool. It looks emo. But even I would be attracted to have that skin if I were playing a lot of Fortnite, which is something we need to try together, actually playing Fortnite on PC.
We need to.
But apparently when the skin came out, a lot of it cost $20, I think, from what I've seen.
$20, yeah.
And apparently people on Twitter were just tweeting about, today what did I do? I switched on my PS4, opened Fortnite, bought the skin, switched off Fortnite, switched off PS4. That was my day.
That's a very good attempt to an American accent, Will.
No. That's not an American accent at all. It's not.
Yeah, no, I'm not the type to spend money on skins, to be honest. So I don't. This whole hype about a new skin.
It's a debate on like the people who have time to play games and they're getting game currency.
Yeah.
Versus
the people
who earn money and are willing to spend money on the game because of time.
Okay.
Like they can't dedicate themselves to playing so much. And I mean, there are other games that also give you the freedom of like you don't really have to spend money. There are ways to go around it.
Yes.
One of the biggest examples is obviously going to be Warframe.
Yes.
Warframe, you can actually get platinum by trading items. Because if you get items that people have been hunting for, you can get them and trade them with other people. Hey, I'm going to sell you this item for 200 platinum. Then you get the in-game currency. And some of these people would have probably gotten platinum the same way, or they actually spent money to get platinum. I did it, for example, but it's because I have this 75% discount, and for €50 it was worth it. So it's like I bought a game.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I got a good amount.
Same price of
I'm doing so much with the amount of platinum I had gotten, for example. So, and people can continue to spend money if they feel they have to.
Sure.
It depends on how much you've actually dedicated to it. Anyway, I'm
Yep.
I'm digressing.
That concludes our news section.
No,
you have
there
one
are
more thing?
two other things I want to mention
Two?
quickly.
Okay.
I'm not gonna get stuck on switching to another topic mentioning these two. Anyway, Overwatch on 10th April, there's the announcement of the new game type called Retribution. It's a limited time event running from 10th April to 30th April.
Ooh.
Where it's a player versus enemy PvE mode.
Okay.
For players, they have to do a certain mission, and it's also a story related to the villains of the story, Blackwatch. Okay. So you get to play 4 of the heroes. No, there are other heroes in the roster, but who were related to the Blackwatch story. So I think that's going to be interesting. There was already another PvE mode that Overwatch had that was kind of defend the point with the good guys of the story, and that was fun. I had really enjoyed that mode, so I'm looking forward to this one. Okay. In fact, lately I've been going in a bit of Overwatch to get back into it because I'm a bit rusty now. Especially, like, I haven't played it ever since Doomfist, Moira, and Bridget had come out, and I hadn't played them, so I'm like, oh, I'm lost. So I'm looking forward to that. And the other news is Final Fantasy 15 apparently is getting more bloody DLC, more episodes, and a new ending. Like, that's interesting that they're going to add this now. I think maybe because of the game being out on PC. The PC seems to be doing well. So kudos to Square Enix actually continuing.
It's not the first time Final Fantasy have released DLC for
But not
for
this
the-
much.
not this much.
It wasn't like this. Before, the last one was FF13, like as a single player story, because of 14 is the MMO that I'm playing at the moment. But 13 basically continued as 2 other sequels. So there was 13.2 and I don't know if they called it 13.3. But the main title was called Lightning Returns.
Yeah.
But now they're doing it as separate episodes. Maybe they're doing it better like that instead of playing a huge massive game again on the same story. Just play like a sequel.
And the DLC is free, right? It's not like an expansion.
I don't know. I broke.
You broke. You broke. No worries.
No, I have to see actually.
Okay.
Anyway, and that much covers it for some news. Do you want to talk about some releases?
Upcoming games. Yep.
That will happen until the next time we come up.
Yeah, definitely. We will most probably be talking about this in our next episode. God of War. God of War 4 comes out on the 20th of April.
Yeah, no, that I am excited to see because
that's cool.
It diverted from the usual savagery.
Yes.
It looks really different.
Yeah. And even all the gameplay that's been coming out, it looks really, really nice. Looks really, and we get to see another side of Kratos. Yes. Before we'd always see him as this blood-crazed blood-crazed, god-hating god killer.
Yeah.
Son, did you have your cereal this morning?
And apparently now we'll find we'll see a different side of him, fatherly side of him, which I don't imagine him either being like you have a boo-boo.
I will kiss your boo-boo.
He'll more be like, oh yes, you can, someone's cut your arm off, just walk it off, that sort of fatherly discipline.
Do you know the boo-boos I've gotten throughout my lifetime?
Can you see the scar on my eye, you bastard? Anyway,
it was my first boo-boo.
Before we started, you showed me a game, Minit.
That's already out, actually.
Yes, came out on the 3rd of April.
Yeah, it's a cute little indie game made by some guys from Vlambeer, Crow, and another person from Guerrilla Games. It looks like a mini Zelda game where you only live for 60 seconds every time.
Yes. But I was very skeptical when you said that first, but then I watched some gameplay.
Yeah.
Which I ended up stopping because I didn't want to ruin it, because I convinced myself I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna play it. It looks nice. At first glance, it reminded me of the old Pokemon Game Boy games.
Because of the simplicity of the aesthetics.
Exactly.
It's like when you're playing on the Game Boy.
Exactly. But it's cool. I mean, you don't just get 60 seconds to go through the whole game. You get 60 seconds to figure something out. Once you've gotten that thing, it's yours. You've got it. Then you go and explore a different type of part of the map.
I'm curious of giving that a shot, actually.
Mm-hmm.
What else is coming up? For anyone who enjoyed Don't Starve, you can now take that with you on the Nintendo Switch, coming out on the 12th of April.
Yep.
PS4 is getting the sequel to the Yakuza series now.
Mm-hmm.
Yakuza 6 is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And something we really need to see together. I haven't played Yakuza.
Neither have I.
People go crazy on the game. I really want to see what Yakuza is. And if people really love it, tell us why we should love it also.
Yeah, definitely.
And this I'm actually really looking forward to coming out on PC, which is Battletech.
Yeah.
If no one has ever followed Battletech, it's a Kickstarter game that is coming out finally, and is from the creator of the Battletech series, which is more known as MechWarrior on the PC.
Okay.
I used to love playing MechWarrior a lot when I was young. Played the first one up to the 4. but BattleTech is more a tactical game instead of the first-person pilot view.
Mhm.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this is.
I watched some gameplay of that as well. It looks nice.
Yep. Some other tiny ones we saw. You pointed out a game called Super Daryl, which
Yeah.
looks like an RPG-vania kind of game.
I'm quite excited about that. I watched again. I just watched some gameplay.
Yeah,
It reminded me of that game, but you said no, it's not.
because you said Cuphead comes to mind.
Cuphead. Because it's that sort of cartoonish graphics where you're jumping. It's 2D, right?
Yeah, it is 2D, but there's more character progression involved.
You're
Like
basically
getting abilities and stuff.
Uh-huh.
You level up apparently. So that's why the RPG-vania. There's the Metroidvania style of the game where you have this 2D world that you're going from one place to the other. And the RPG part is the leveling up of your character's talents.
Yeah.
We saw Extinction. That to me is like Attack on Titan, the indie game.
To be honest, we only watched the cinematics as well. We didn't watch any gameplay for that.
Nah, there was some gameplay. Actually.
You watched gameplay? I only watched
Yeah,
the cinematic.
Just you're like this guy who's holding off a swarm of these monsters
Giant.
attacking the village, and together with this 150
Giant-
foot
giant
ogre
ogres,
that you
yeah.
need to stop. Hence why Attack on Titan came to mind. And it's a case of let's see what the reviews say, because some people are a bit skeptical of what the game brings together with its price. And you mentioned Sinner a bit, but
I
Sinner looks
mentioned
like
Sinner
a
a
Chinese
bit, yes.
iteration of Dark Souls.
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
see what that is, but I don't have that much high hopes. They didn't really these three games that we're mentioning. I really didn't see much marketing of them.
No, not really. What I did was just some research of what's.
To be honest, I
coming
was
out in
surprised about
April.
Yakuza's release date, for example. Like all of a sudden, 17th April, and okay, this is happening,
Yeah.
and it's a popular game, so I don't see why this shouldn't show up.
The PSN games.
Yes,
I looked them up yesterday. To be honest, I nearly forgot about them. But
The
apparently,
April list.
Mad Max is coming out.
that's a
for
nice
April.
open world game actually. That unfortunately was shrouded by Metal Gear Solid 5's release,
Okay.
as far as I know. I think it was that.
Mad Max is, and there's another car game. I forgot.
It's the month of the cars.
An arcade-ish car game. Let me remember the name. Trackmania.
Oh,
Trackmania.
that's nice.
Yeah.
That is really nice.
It's
Does it say
arcade-ish?
what's the full name?
Trackmania Turbo.
Okay, no, that is fun. So, if you guys are really into really crazy levels and fast arcade games, Trackmania is really good.
Is it similar to that car game where you play soccer? Oh, sorry, football.
Rocket League. No,
Rocket
no,
League.
no.
No way.
No. Rocket League is a sport. It's more a sport game, meaning like...
Carmania is just racing.
Yeah, Trackmania is
Arcade
racing.
is racing.
I don't want to say that racing is not a sport. That is not what I wanted
is
to...
sport.
No. Trackmania is racing. More like time trials also
Yeah.
when you play online. But really crazy levels. Back in the LAN party days, Trackmania was a really crazy game to play during
Yeah,
these
I remember.
LAN tournaments. Like people just
Just
beating up.
to give them
beat-
just
Some people were really good. Like, I don't know how to explain this. It was really good fun. Just seeing people beat levels at crazy times was impressive.
we'll give it a try, definitely. Just to mention all the others, just to mention a few other platforms. So on PS4, we said there's on the PSN there's coming out Mad Max Trackmania Turbo. In Space We Brawl.
What?
Apparently it's a cross buy with PS3. 99 Vidis. I have no idea what they are. And Qbert Rebooted. Those are for the PS4. For the PS3, again
sounds
In
neat.
Space We Brawl, Toy Home, 99 Vidis and Qbert again.
Okay.
And for the PS Vita, 99 Vidis and Qbert. So that's all that's coming out on the PSN for April. That's coming
Okay.
out or that's already out? I'm not sure. I think they're already
Yeah,
out.
it's already out. In fact, In Space We Brawl is out. And Qbert Remastered, I don't know. But Qbert is a very, very old game. But I think Mad Max will keep people...
Mad Max, I'll try
Occupied,
Mad Max,
definitely.
definitely.
It's a fun game.
Definitely. So I think that's all, right?
Mm-hmm.
We finished episode 2.
Be quickly. So we mentioned 3 games and did news.
Yes. Progress. Right.
Have more faith, my son. More faith. No.
So we still haven't
I really
decided
enjoyed
what
this
we're
one.
going to discuss for the next podcast. It might come out a bit later, we said, right?
Yeah. So important notice that the 3rd episode might come out not 2 weeks, probably 3.
3 weeks.
As I mentioned already, I'm gonna be abroad
Yeah.
in the next 2 weeks, heading up to a game developer conference in Croatia.
Something we'll talk about as well, maybe during
I
the
could
episode.
mention it a bit.
We'll mention
Yeah.
something of that.
Anyone who wants to see what this conference is about, it's Reboot Develop in Dubrovnik.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. And especially meeting some friends of mine over for some Croatian beer. Though some colleagues at work, they're like, no, Croatian beer sucks. I don't know.
Opinions. Yeah.
Opinions. Just like my opinion on Far Cry.
The best game ever.
Nine.
Ever. Anyway,
But
that's
yeah,
all.
that's the best. That's not best. That's the.
You're
notice
you're
that we
losing
need to
your
give.
voice right as we're about to hit the 1 hour mark.
I
We're
just
close,
want to
we're
hit
close
1
to
hour. What can we do for this whole minute now? Let's go. Da, 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 da.
Let's try and close it off in a professional manner.
Nah.
No.
Da, 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 da.
Anyway,
Nah,
that's
don't
all.
worry. That's not gonna be like this for a whole minute. Anyway, have a good one. Thanks for
Cheers.
tuning in. As usual,
The usual stuff. Yeah, give us a like, give us a share, give us a
thank you.
whatever you like, comments, feedback, whatever you guys like, what you want to hear, what you don't want to hear, anything. Yeah. So keep in touch.
Bye.
Bye.